Hello, guys, and welcome back. We are here with game number two, or we're not yet, but we will soon be here with game number two between Team Wolf and Tempest. Now, in game number two, guys, do you think there's something they should change for the draft, or do you feel like it should have just been an execution thing? RDO
Which team?
for Wolf. Sorry, yeah, I was assuming, yeah, for Wolf because they lost.
For Wolf, I think their draft is fine, honestly. I was scared of the Doom pick because, in my opinion, Doom would only win the lane if he gets the Ice Armor creep, but he actually got it. So I think it wasn't a draft problem. It was more of a discipline problem to just keep up the advantage and win the game.
Okay. How do you fix that? Genuinely, RDO. Like, what are the tools when you've been in a team and you like that's what you're lacking and you realize like, oh, we're making these mistakes. What is the process to fixing that? Because it's not like you don't know what you're doing, right?
You play better, but to play better for like
But how do you accomplish that?
yeah, for a BO3, usually this kind of stuff happen because you're too emotional. So maybe someone was too emotional, screaming like, "Let's go, go dive, we're winning," this kind of stuff, and they,
Hmm.
they just they just die without thinking, and Duza gets a neutral kill. It happens sometimes.
I'm gonna ask you as well because I'm interested in this process because when you look at these like quote unquote mistakes, right? It's never that the pro players don't know that they're a mistake. Maybe like a minute after it happens. But it's like RDO says, it's an emotional thing. It's a heat of the moment. It's like you're in the game and you're feeling that way. How do you feel like a good team can work on these kind of things, on this quote
Um,
unquote discipline?
you need to be more patient. I think one major problem we have here in Brazil and the players is that everyone gets so hyped playing, especially when you're just winning. Like everyone, when you're winning, the game is easy. Everyone has ideas to what to do, where to play. So everyone's talking a lot. Everyone's so excited, and I think they need to calm down. Like, um, what they're doing, just work it out until they throw the game at the ancient fight in the bottom. They just need to focus and keep doing what they're doing because it was working, and I think they're
Mm.
fine.
Would you agree with that, RDO? Is that what's missing? The calming down aspect?
Yes, it's the calming down aspect, so it gives more discipline to players.
I've talked to a lot of Brazilian players, and they've all said the same thing that when you play a pro game, it sounds like a pub, and everyone's screaming and laughing and everything. Is that true? Is that in every team you've played with?
I usually don't get emotional in games, but
Sure.
yes, I've played with teammates that scream a lot. It's good sometimes for the morale, like a BO3, you lost first game, you start losing second game, and then you make a good play, and everyone starts screaming, "Yeah, nice, let's go." But sometimes it can ruin your game.
I say that because I'm one of these guys. I just scream. I don't care.
Yeah, so it's hard to balance, right? Like find the enough to give morale to your team, but also not enough that you get overexcited. Do you know anyone that does things like meditation or this kind of stuff to like control their emotions? Any players that have tried to do that?
I don't know. Do you know anyone?
No,
Cardio?
straight up no.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's too
RDO is
specific.
very confident. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. RDO is very very confident. I thought Astini recommended that to you guys. No.
Really did what he told us to do.
All right, fair enough. I appreciate the honesty there. So let's look at game number two. Tempest, they banned the Doom because they think it's very strong. Wolf team, they get rid of the Beastmaster not to give a first pick, so they're actually banning both of their own drafts, interestingly enough. We'll see what the first pick for Tempest decides to be then.
Dire team pick.
Oh no.
What are your thoughts on the impact of that hero last game, RDO?
I wasn't a big fan of Drakel Visage. I don't think it was his fault actually, because he got countered in lane. I think it was more of a draft problem because they picked Tiny and Visage, and usually when you play Visage, you want your position forward to play the lane with you, but they last pick Storm, and Storm needed help mid. So Visage ended up 1v2 bottom, and they were also losing mid, the Tiny plus Storm. Maybe this time they pick a position for that can actually play with Visage and they stomp the lane.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't see anything with Visage last game. Like he was kind of under the stage.
Yeah, I only saw his OP VODs on Teamfight. I never really saw
Yeah.
a hero or anything.
That's true. The Wraith pack did had more impact than Visage at one point. Do you think that was more fault of the Tiny though?
It was a draft problem. Like Tiny couldn't stay bottom because Storm's a bigger priority, and he was needing help mid. So Visage kind of ended up getting sacrificed.
There's the Monkey King. We did see how that he does win the lane, at least against that last game against Visage. Now the Enchantress for Duster. It's not Chen, but I'll take it. It's close enough.
No,
do you-
I'm not taking.
What are your thoughts on the?
What the
What?
heck?
Sorry.
It's a cheap version of Gem.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cheap version. Do you think Enchantress is still very strong this patch? Some teams swear by it, mainly gaming gladiators, and some teams despise her right now. What do you guys stand on it?
I think for the SA scene, this year is super broken. No, I'm not going to say broken, but because everyone here on the SA likes to just destroy the lanes, I think Enchantress it's the hero that do this really well, and I think Wolf teams just trying to win the lanes just by picking Monkey on Visage and doing this on the previous game. They just want to destroy the lanes. I think Enchantress it's one of the heroes, and I think nowadays this hero is super strong on the mid game. We just see some games that Enchantress just carrying the fights, just right clicking on everyone and everyone's dying. No one understands anything that's going on. I really enjoyed this hero.
Radiant
Good.
team
What are your thoughts on Rodeo?
God
damn it. I mean, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think it's good for a Wolf team. It fits their playstyle, like winning lanes and strong early to mid game. So it's good for them.
Dire team ban.
Okay. Tiny again. This time on the 8th pick. Could this mean it's a Tiny core, not a Tiny 4?
Still flex.
Yeah,
not sure.
it's going to flex. It's
Like
too
they're
soon
not
to
banning.
predict.
Yeah, they're not banning any heroes to protect Tiny mid. They're banning Mercy.
10 seconds remaining.
Sure. Yeah. Fair enough. I guess. I mean, if you value Tiny, you have to value Mercy, because the strength is the same thing as the dispose or the toss back, right?
I think Tiny gives more team fight kinda, cause he'll have
Okay.
his combo every 16 seconds on
10
team fight, and
seconds
Marcy.
remaining.
I mean, Marcy just saves or gets someone out of
Team
position. I don't really like this hero.
Really? Oh, you're a
I
Mercy
think
hater. I see.
She
Oh,
got
yeah.
really nerfed on the ultimate. That's why she's not that good anymore. It's like you said, he's just a saver, maybe get someone out of position.
10
Okay.
seconds remaining.
I'm disappointed in you guys. I thought you were Mercy lovers yourselves, but you know, it seems like a very SA hero. I'm not gonna lie. But to be honest, Matthew did lose terribly with her the other day, so maybe you're onto something, guys. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. How did you continue this draft of your Tempest? Like last time they went for like this slower tempo on the later picks, you know, with Dusa, and you're worried about RDO. Do you think they can do that again, or do you feel like now that you know the carry Monkey King is early, you can try to deviate?
I feel like they should pick Treant again. Treant is actually really good against Wolf team because they just want to pressure towers, and Treant just stops it. Well, last game he got 3 points on third spell on level 5. He was like fully committed on defending towers, and I actually like it against this team.
Okay.
10
Trying to get rid of some of the
seconds
faster
remaining.
carries. Pango could, sorry, Bloodseeker can indicate a Pango pick as well for
Dire
Tempest.
team pick. Radiant team
But they want Pango. That's why yes.
Oh.
It, usually when people ban Bloodseeker, they want. I think both team wanted Pango.
Yep.
I think they're going to repeat
team,
the
that's-
same draft.
The same
10
draft
seconds
for
Yeah.
both teams.
No, more from Tempest. Like Trench is really good right now.
seconds remaining.
I think they're going to pick Duze, knowing Dispango and Monkey, because I think last game Duze just had really struggle against these heroes on the mid game. But I really think they're going to repeat the same draft overall.
Radiant team pick.
Okay. We'll see if you guys are right. It's looking that way. Or you? I mean, if you're okay, go ahead. Or you? Or
don't-
Ardio.
Storm, man. Storm was such
Yeah,
a
don't pick
weird-
Storm, please.
Yes.
So that's
I
the
had
one
so
change.
much pain watching There's one time that
Wait.
Storm just buy back on the last fight, and he TPs
Yep.
on the ult post on bottom and jumps straight into HFN. When he comes to HFN, he had 0 mana.
There you
It's
go, guys.
Super sad. Nice Void Spirit. It's a nice Void Spirit game.
Much.
I like this
Yeah?
matchup. Void against Pango mid.
Why so? Explain it to me.
He can just burst Pango most of the time. Eggs is really OP against Pango. He can go for Eos too. He can just set up on Pango every fight. And the what's the name? The Astro Step. It's really good
Yep.
against Pango. Like if he rolls in, you just Astro Step out and you're fine.
RDO, do you think Wolf Team should change some of their ideas now that they see a Void Spirit and now the Storm?
Nah, I think that they should keep up with their
Same draft.
Yeah, I don't mean the same draft, but the same idea on how they want to play the game. Because this is
Okay.
what they trained for the last months, right? You shouldn't really change. Like after you lose the first game in a best of 3, you shouldn't lose your confidence by that.
Okay. What do you think the offlaner should be then? Since they can't go for the Beastmaster this time to give him tempo. What are the other tempo offlaners they could go for?
Let me check, cause I forgot all heroes.
Oh,
Oh,
All right, nice.
Interesting.
Nice, Avo. We're
Of course it's
finally
nice
seeing
for
a
you.
TV, man.
here
Finally.
comes some HFN. Some HFN
how do you
stuff.
rate the HFN TB, Mario?
Yeah, come on, I cannot do this kind of stuff. I'm not doing it. No.
Okay, fair enough.
HFN is his dad. He's his dad. He can't say.
I'm a
Is it-
peaceful player. I don't.
Peaceful.
I don't go for drama. But I don't think it's a good TB lane. Like Visage and Tiny. If TB doesn't die like 3 times in this lane, I'm gonna be surprised. Because TB has
Okay.
like 500 HP level 1, and Visage nuke deals 200 or something on level 1.
Yeah. So you think that compared to the Monkey King lane is gonna be much weaker? Does the Enchantress factor into this? Like, can she cover the TB in lane enough?
If Tempest are good enough, they'll just ignore the Enchantress and use all their spells on TB. Like, Enchantress cannot heal TB enough, and he'll just get bursted most of the lane.
It's a really tough lane for TB, especially that Souls are nerfed.
What do you think of the Monkey King 4 as well? Or you find that's a good Monkey King 4 game here?
I don't know. I feel like the lane is going to be strange. If they pick Mars, if Wolf Team go for Mars off lane, I think it's going to be okay. An okay game for Monkey, because the lane phase is going to be strong. But overall, I really don't enjoy the Zero in position 4. I think he's a better mid lane or safe laner.
We'll see how it impacts them. Tempest, they still need a carry. RDL, could you give me some suggestions here, considering the TB?
Considering the TB, it would be PL, but it's a TB Pango, so maybe Juggernaut, Morphling,
Morphling's
Just
already
ban
bad,
Morphling.
so that's a good call. Yeah.
Spend, yeah.
He's so good, he predicted this ban after it happened. That's the next level. You believe in the Juggernaut right now? Do you think the Juggernaut's actually in an okay position right now as a carry?
Yes, he has a solid lane, and he scales very good against TB. You go for Mayo, Shard, and you just kill him after BTB.
Okay.
Just ban Enigma and Necro. Maybe they want to pick Alk.
Interesting. Could that work? It is a Minos hero. It used to be, at least.
I think it's okay game for Alk. No one gets Vessel on Wolf Team. You don't want to go Vessel on Pango mid most of the times.
Yeah. Monkey could, I guess, but it's not the greatest build-up.
I think
too
enemies
long.
will pick Viper if Tempest picks Alchemist, and Viper will like destroy the lane against the Alch and build Vessel.
Radiant team pick.
Good call. So I guess you're not a fan of that pick. What other picks could we see RDO then? Besides the Jug.
There's still the Medusa open, which is not that good this game, but who knows?
just because Minos likes to play it.
There's
right?
actually Ursa. I was forgetting about Ursa. All right,
Oh,
Juggernaut.
Look, I was asking you for more heroes to make content, but you were just so perfect on the first try. You shouldn't have spoken anymore. Now we need an offlaner to deal with this Juggernaut. Is there an offlaner that can deal with this Juggernaut with the Monkey King lane?
10 seconds remaining.
Any thoughts, Rayur?
Seconds remaining.
No, I just thought of Mars, but I think Jugger is really excellent against Mars. You just ban Necro and Enigma would be kind of decent. Maybe they flag this Pango to the offlane.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
it seems
weak
like a
lane, though.
good. I think it's fine
It's
for Pango. It's double
the better
melee.
option. Yeah.
You may
Oh.
select your heroes.
And I go for a Night Stalker instead. What
I was
are the
actually
strengths of the Night
thinking-
Stalker?
I was actually thinking of the Night Stalker. It's actually not that bad against Juggernaut because you have so much high damage and a high HP region. Juggernaut, if he
Yeah.
spins on you, you just trade with him. Then after you spin, Juggernaut has to run.
Okay. And what's the strength of Night Stalker besides the lane?
He catches Treant, takes towers, goes on top of Visage and Void Spirit, Silence. It's good against all
The
their
vision is
heroes.
really OP with Pango too. You have too much vision on the dive right now. You have like Stalker, Pango, and you have the Monkey. Too much vision on the fights.
Okay.
10 seconds
So,
remaining.
this time, guys, who are you going to be siding with, considering last game's results? I'll let you go first, Rayur.
I'm going with Tempest this game. I really think this is a good Void Spirit game. There's nothing too much to make sure he dies. I mean, you have the Night Stalker, but I think he will be okay this game. And I really like the Jugger pick to deal with TB.
Now, RDO.
Yes.
Sir, what team do you dislike the most, my friend? Who are you going to predict for?
I'll go for the TV. I'm a TV fan. Let's go. I'm
Okay.
sure I'm not gonna jinx the
TB injury.
both guys this time.
All right, that's a simple analysis. He sees TB, he goes for TV. I like that, RDO. You're a believer in the Juggernaut. We're going to have to see what happens as we go to Game 2. Will Wolf Team be able to force a Game 3? Or will Tempest not only steal their logo, but also steal their points? We'll have to see as we go over to our casters, Plus and Lacoste.
I
Well, Lacoste.
wanna let you do the introduction again because it's always so awkward. I love it. You should
How's it
get a
going?
raise, Avo. Definitely, you work too hard.
This time in Lacoste, I'm happy to announce that I actually made it into the lobby, so I'm particularly proud of this game. Yeah. I know. Thank you so much, mate.
Easy clap. Let's go. Yeah, looking at
So what are
these
your
two
thoughts?
drafts, pretty similar. I mean, and they're gonna have the same offlane with Visage and Tiny. This time around, it should be much better because they're playing into Terrorblade. Like Terrorblade just doesn't have much HP. If they decide to trade, if they build it up, like they can blow him up easily. Looking at like Enchantress, she's definitely gonna become more popular as a hero, even after all the nerfs. Having that Nature's Attendance, it's a lot of mana, 140, level 1. But yeah, any kind of heal you can get from your position 5 is gonna feel good in the laning stage.
Do you think that's the build now? Because we saw it towards the end of last patch that people were like maxing nature attendance and going for like points and impetus and skipping enchant.
Maybe it depends, like because now you need to have more points in enchant to be able to dominate the creeps. It's 4, 5, 6, 6. But yeah, I think it's gonna be more about surviving in this lane. Also, Terrorblade got a huge buff. His Metamorphosis got extra 15 damage on level 1.
That's huge, yeah, you're right. That means that now is Terrorblade back to being like an actual threat in the early levels of the lane?
Yeah, you
'Cause
can
he used to be
definitely
kinda-
get a kill.
Yeah. Kraken. This Visage went in with a level 1 soul assumption, and he died. Okay.
A lot of slow. Shield Crash plus Orb of Venom. And Duster picks
Yeah, also
up.
Visage... he has the 285 base movement speed, so I don't know what he expected to get out of that.
Good question, now I don't know. We see Treant Protector. This is always a thing with Treant. Like, and not just Treant, but also Terrorblade. You see this hero, especially now with the buffs, you know that he's probably going to go for meta. level 1, usually it was reflection. And if he decides to trade, you just hit him back. But they should know something is up. Like, lane is in a decent spot. Tiny does have avalanche, so they can't reposition him, they can't slow him, and his Treant Protector's not showing bottom.
Nope. Which is why they play a little bit safer. HFN, all the spells on him, but unfortunately damage is not too high. He has his own salve. HFN will be able to survive for now. So is this just to try to get first blood? Yeah, okay. Treant Protector's already TPing bottom. Good.
I think it was Monkey's healing salve, because it didn't last as long and all his items were in the inventory. So he just bought, like, I think in this situation, it's okay.
Thank you for that correction, Nistrekio. He's in trouble, but Slaving will save him with the avalanche. And HFN! He almost got sniped there by the soul assumption. Slaving just lost his clarity, but he's gonna punch HFN to the death. They have another soul assumption, and with a vision, they'll get him. This is exactly what the panel talked about, Lacoste.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild what Visage, how much damage he can do with just 1 point in soul assumption. Looking at the bottom lane, Kotaro
Radiant's courier.
having 6 CS, Night Stalker 3. They could potentially get a kill once they get level 3. There's gonna be a lot of slow, and the Treant Protector's level 2. So with the Leech Seed slow, with the Nature's Grasp and or Profano, if they hit him once, he might be able to TP out. If he uses spin, Tawa should immediately TP out because they have nothing to stop the TP with. Looking at the mid lane, pretty even. Well, not so even. Pango has a little bit more CS, but there's also a couple of creeps more on side of Wolf team, so he can kill it. I don't expect too much out of this lane. I don't think anyone should die. Especially because, like, yeah, you can dissimulate, you can dodge stuff. Pre-6, I don't think anyone should die. Maybe with a rotation, but other than that, like, it's very difficult to die.
I'm curious, who rotates faster of these two, Pango and Void Spirit? Assuming equal lane.
It depends on the runes, like 6-minute rune, potential rotation.
Okay.
Like you would want to get a haste, you would want to get. You also need to be ready with the TP as Void Spirit to be able to help out bottom, because that's going to be a nighttime, and Tao was definitely wanting to pressure during the nighttime.
For sure. Okay. We'll see this as a toss back. Draken, he wants to kill King Ao. He did not calculate that correctly, even though it did look that way. That's what Ardio was saying, that it's actually kind of hard to evade because of how weird the soul assumption hits you. It has like a small delay between the projectile and the damage. Like Finger of Death, for example.
Yeah. I'm thinking why they decided to put Enchantress with Night Stalker. It feels like they... I don't know. Like, maybe they didn't want to have 2 melees on bottom, but then you have 2 melees on top. This top lane is losing, and I think your win condition is Terrorblade. Sure, like, Night Stalker can take over the game if he's off to a good start. Maybe they thought, like, Terrorblade's gonna lose his lane, get some levels, go to jungle, do the TB stuff, but you're also then leaving the lane to Visage, and that means that he can do whatever he wants with the birds. Like, you can't hide. Usually there's one hero that hides behind the tower, which can scout you out and kill you.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit odd, I agree. Like, it seems like sacking the idea of the Visage, of the Terrorblade is not probably the best. Especially because, well, they just keep getting kills on this Monkey King. I mean, if they don't take the Terrorblade, they just take Monkey down. There we go. Another time Mischief miss.
They need mana. They definitely need Ring of Bassi in this lane, because Tiny consumes a ton of mana. Like, their couriers are constantly flying out. Look at this. Sage Mask, Mango, Clarity. You need to use a lot of consumables in this one. Oh, mid lane. Sebas catches Mango. Mid shield crash with the Ether Remnant.
Nice. It cancels
He
it and
doesn't
puts
get
it
it
on
off.
cooldown.
Yep.
Yeah. And the shield crashes are super important when you're playing Pango mid to trade, of course. Sebas takes advantage of that, but he is still losing the lane ever so slightly. We'll see now as they reach 6 and 6-minute runes come by, what the supports for Tempest are going to do. Do you think they rotate to secure runes?
One should
And
definitely
Wolf
rotate.
plays the bottom? Okay.
Sebas does have very low HP. He would definitely want one of the supports to, like, potentially go in, trade, die, refill his bottle, but there's also a bounty rune for him, which is being scouted out by Dire Ward. So let's see what he decides to do. He's going back mid.
Yeah, bottom, the aggression does start though. We're seeing a little bit of harassment here. As Tabo, he's not letting Troubadour get in his midst. Now should be the strongest lane, right? Bottom for Wolf. Like, nothing can beat that lane right now.
We're talking about Night Stalker and Enchantress right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the Night Stalker feels pretty unkillable at the moment. Once he gets the phase boost, extra movement speed, extra armor that he already has, I don't think he needs to worry about anything. But Terrorblade, like I'm looking at this hero, they need a little bit more levels. Like he already died once in terms of CS, sitting in the middle of the pack. Same as Juggernaut, but he is level 5, has meta. Have we even seen meta more than one?
I only saw one from what I was watching. He's maxed it though, which is surprising to me. If you're planning to go jungle, you don't max meta.
That's why. That's what caught my eye. This is gonna be an observer ward destroyed. For Tempest, Tiny will get rid of that. Visage needs some solo XP. Tiny needs to stay away, so Visage gets level 6.
A lot of salves being used on teammates, huh?
It's not good. It's really not good anymore.
Stop
I
doing
know,
that,
I
please.
know it's something that we've been doing for so long, but yeah, find something else to do. Like,
Oh no. King Ao again! That soul assumption hits.
This monkey's not gonna have a game. Like, this is not position for monkey. This is gonna be... I don't have no idea what this monkey is gonna do. Like, it's just gonna be the scouting tool, pretty much try to set things up with vision and boundless strike whenever someone tries to split push. I don't think he's gonna be able to scale. Unless
What is usually the goal?
what's the goal with monkey? I mean, you still possess a lot of threat in the team fights. Mid lane.
Nope. You do kill the Pango thanks to rotation from Slavin. So you were talking about this, potential rotations that get the mid laners, and there's gonna be Slavin who does this. Sebas did that in Invis room, by the way, which he used just to kill Pango instead. As bottom lane, we hear a Dark Ascension. The dive is here. It's for the Trim Protector. Lead sheet has been committed. Kotaro can't really help with support. Katyu is just being run down by Tabo. Katyu can't really do much but tank this and eventually die. There we go.
Tries to buy a bit more time. Void Spirit does have double damage, so he can be the one rotating bottom. Kotaro immediately TP's out.
Good glyph.
The mid lane. Let's see.
Top?
40R keeping top. Like, they want to get something done here.
They do. Meta still not committed. Boundless strike used for Draken. And with a rolling thunder, that's going to set up for the skill. I don't even need to commit that meta in the end for HFN. This
Kotaro's
smoke
still-
with Kotaro?
Yeah, he's level 5. He's trying to figure out where he wants to go because bottom is not safe anymore with the Night Stalker putting ton of pressure. Trend Protector has 2 points in living armor. He's like one of the better heroes to defend the tower against the Night Stalker. With Dark Ascension, not as much, but this is big. Like, they do the same thing one more time, and they grab another kill on 40R. It's very important to shut down this Pango as well, because if we're talking about the playmakers in this game, it's definitely not this monkey that had horrible laning stage. Enchantress is also not that hero, so it needs to be either Night Stalker or Pango.
You know?
I want to see someone else TPing bottom or Tempest just to be able to delay this push from the Night Stalker and Enchantress. Like, try to sacrifice one of the heroes. This is very important if they can keep this alive. They probably can't, but it's being pinged out.
Right. Who do you think it should have been in a hypothetical scenario?
I think Visage. His DP was on cooldown, never mind. I think Visage or Tiny, but ideally you would want Visage because he can, like, if he was, let's say, hypothetically, his DP is available, he DP's bottom, can resummon birds, and then you have something to defend the tower with.
I see, so now the only option is for Tempest to keep on the push, right? And try to take mid as well to equalize this. Or sorry, to take the advantage now.
There's not that much tower damage on their side. Like, I think they need to be playing with the catapults, but catapult is spawning. It's gonna connect again.
No astral step here, and that means, or he didn't get it off in the beginning, which means Sebas is just perma-stunned here. They didn't have anything to target. And you can't get the simulate off between the Rolling Thunders. Toss. Okay, Pango. Maybe that toss wasn't the best. He just using it to attack Slavin instead. Sladin's in trouble. Dark Ascension. We have reinforcements. Sladin will walk away from his Visage, but at least make sure he's the only one to die here. But here's the push that Wolf Team certainly does have. This might mean a mid tower.
This is definitely a tower. Let's see who TPs. There is no... Oh, this is... Oof. Kind of yikes. Tower should definitely have a point in Crippling Fear. Just one for these type of situations where, like, using Crippling Fear does get you a kill. But they secured the tower, so it's all good. He has Echo Saber, pretty massive on the Night Stalker, the most CS and also the most farmed overall hero in the game. So he's gonna be the one carrying Terrorblade. Will need to recover.
How do you think his recovery is gonna go? Like, when do you think HFN is ready to fight again or match the Juggernaut speed?
Historically, Terrorblade just wins against the Juggernaut. It's not that good of a matchup for Jug. We're talking about like him getting close, then using Scotty Reflection. It's difficult. Like, it can go both ways, but Terrorblade definitely has an upper hand in the matchup. Also, looking at their damage, like if TB gets big, not sure who's gonna chew through the tankiness of this Terrorblade. Like, one tiny combo, Void Spirit, but yeah, Visage and the birds. It's a lot of right clicks. Terrorblade has a ton of armor, and also against the Juggernaut Omni Slash, it's just not that great. So he's playing for like later timing. We're talking about the Scotty Manta style, potentially plus one more item.
Sladin in trouble. Sladin will die. They want this tower, but I think they're gonna have to desist for it. Draken still keeping the enemy team at bay. Good nature's grasp. And Kotaro, he's not retreating. He is committed. He wants to trade mid for mid, or need more kills. Overgrowth used. That puts ADR in a pickle. In fact, he's dead already, and that should finally set up for the tower. As Night Stalker can't come in, there's no... Oh, they don't...
They cut him down.
They won't have a Monkey King either, because the Omni Slash, full damage on this Monkey. Nice recovery there by Tempest.
A bit overextension there from Pango, trying to defend that tower, and we can already see he died 3 times. What he has in quick buy, thinking about like maybe he thinks we need initiation. I'm getting a Blink Dagger, and I'm gonna let Night Stalker do the carrying because Tavo is huge. He has Echo Saber, like he definitely needs BKB this game because playing against the Treant Protector, Void Spirit, Tiny, you want to go in and dish out as much damage as possible. So that should definitely be his next item, and then a Blink Dagger to cut into backlines, find this Treant Protector. So they're adjusting their item build. I think 4DR is onto something. Like, he's not going to be able to scale with the item build that he's going for, NS will.
Well, we're seeing rotation towards the top lane, but Kotaro could be in trouble. Boundless Strike sets up. There's the Crippling Fury you were talking about. As Dark Ascension is committed just to make sure they have barely enough damage to kill him.
Nicely done. It should be like relatively safe Juggernaut game, but they executed it perfectly.
Dire are scanning.
The Night Stalkers have such a huge impact, right? That is also preventing Juggernaut from really farming. The damage he brings out, like, you can't even Blade Fury TP safely against this Night Stalker.
It's a lot. Yeah.
What?
Double hit with the Echo Saber, extra damage during Dark Ascension. He got hit by Ogre Bruiser. That's something we see every day in the jungle.
Who got hit by Ogre Bruiser? Oh, the Night
Tavo.
Stalker. Okay.
Half
Honestly,
HP
I don't-
missing.
I don't know what triggers those creeps to this day. I can't figure out when they cast their spells and when they don't.
I think it's just aggro, and after like 3-point-something seconds, they're like, we're getting out. They're not the smartest guys, you know. They're not they're not those kobold with the golden chains around their neck, because you have to be smart to have that, right? An Ogre Bruiser is just like pure strength. Maybe he can beat him up and steal it from him, but
the chain. We'll see a couple of bruisers with chains later, as we do see King Ao being the weakest link right now in the chain. King Ao was closing in on wait, what was the item again? Is he Blink? No, he was not closing in on anything. Sorry, it's a Tiny. I was closing on the Blink Dagger that I saw. King Ao was really poor.
Inside the
Roshan
pit they
Tempest
go. It's a lot of survivability, having living armor, healing ward, but they've been scouted out by observer ward. So it's also nighttime. There's no dark ascension for 30. They don't need it.
They have meta though, so you know they're fine. They still have the other tools to fight. And Tempest decided to desist from the Roche attempt, despite them being Radiant. They just de-push the lanes a little bit, probably wait out this nighttime. It's still 5 more minutes. We see a potential kill against King Ao once again. At what point is this just a diminishing return? Like he's just a wasting time when you kill him. Is it even worth? At some point?
250, 100 extra. They'll take it. I mean, there's no creep wave. Mid wave was pushed anyway. So they didn't lose time.
Can
Got
Monkey
the
be a
last hit.
distraction?
Someone needs to. Night Stalker needs to be more careful about how he approaches the fights, because he's a lot of network, that's on top of the network still, so they don't want him to die. Someone has to die, like they're playing for a bit of a later timing, as already said.
Now it's Duster, right? Who's trying to do the
No,
same thing,
yeah,
because he can survive.
Whose turn is it?
Yeah, he's covering double, but careful, because Duster's running out of nature attendants, and Sebas is looking at him aggressively.
Tiny does have a blink dagger, so I want to see if they want to do something with that. Problem with Tempest is they lost these towers relatively early on, especially because they have Treant. They are thinking about going in, not just thinking.
There we go. We went in, as a Tiny with a blink that we just talked about, nullifying that big item timing. You might as well use the Wukong's command, King Ao. It makes you happy. It's not going to be useful at all anyway, so.
It looks like you're doing something, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Inside the pit they go. They have a ton of damage as well from this Terrorblade, from Pango, extra minus armor, this arm. They know. Roshan is dropping relatively quickly. They should definitely fight this.
Yeah, they got meta off, which is important here. Could like take advantage of it. There's Draken losing the bird. Kotaro in trouble, crippling fear. He's silenced, he's slowed, and he's gonna die in the middle of silence. Kotaro fighting, but my teammates overgrowth to save him. He's still got the Omni. He wants to fight this. They're actually all stuck. Hey, it's gonna be almost a wipe there. 4-man for sure. Duster's the next target. They just lost meta. Sebas wants the real target though. That would be the TP. But he's gonna have to settle for Duster instead. As one last assembly will do the trick, and they go into the Roche pit. Kotaro staying alive. What an overgrowth there by Wu.
That was big overgrowth, and I believe 3-man avalanche. Kotaro barely lives, uses healing ward on the high ground. This should also get the ward that they have on the high ground, and now he's the one holding the Aegis. But that was so close. I don't know if we can get a replay off of that. Then
I would love to see that,
this is one of those fights that you can call game-winning.
They didn't even have to use Omni Slashes. I think it's crazy, right? He actually preserved it during the whole fight.
Because they were already dead.
Yeah,
He used spin, so there's enough damage. No point to waste it. King RD thinking about getting Vanguard on this 4/5
No.
monkey. It's good against Visage, Crimson Guard. If he can farm that, the question is like, can you farm that?
Yep. It's also a desperate build, right? Like you go from Playmaker Monkey King into I just build auras and hope to be useful.
I don't know. Like we can talk about the laning stage. Toss?
Yeah, exactly.
Not a toss back. But Tiny found a big item. Big boy Philly. So that means that if you're playing for Tiny, this is the best item you can find. Because you don't deal any right clicks and you need a little bit more mana and the extra gold. So that means this Tiny is gonna have items this game, no matter what.
Yep. And since he already, I think he's been utilizing that Blink Dagger timing really well this game. Very different to last game. As a toss, somewhat of a toss back onto the creep, but she is gonna die regardless to Sebas, who is gonna be stunned for a little while, but will continue to push his tower right afterwards.
Sladin has been very involved with this Tiny. Those 2 rotations on Pango kind of killed his game. So we already mentioned, like, Pango's not going to scale unless we're talking about, like, post 40 minutes.
I think that's the 9-second BKB that he just used.
It really
right?
is, and it's now not just 9, also 90-second cooldown, so It's gonna
big deal.
extra 15 seconds. Like people will start to think of different ways to play around it or just punish the BKB. They will try to think of what is suitable option to replace BKB.
Someone was telling me that buffs the BKB piercing spells become much better because now you always have him online when the BKB is online, right? Whereas before you could fight between them sometimes.
Now, if you can bait a BKB, that's big. That's gigantic.
Yeah. As we see a Trim Protector who has been baited. Overguard for the Pango. Wu's like, I'm not dying here. I might load like a 5, but I'm not going to play like one. I will survive today.
He does have enough money to buy a Blink Dagger. What their position 4s and 5s bring is going to be huge to a team fight. Like, you have a BKB stopping ability. Oh, the toss back.
They toss back the Terrorblade. Omni-Slash used. And yeah, despite the Manta style, that damage will not be mitigated. HFN got sliced and diced. And now it's time to
this might be beginning of the end. They have full Aghanim Scepter on Void Spirit. We're talking about 20 minutes in on top of the Witchblade plus Phase Boots. This might force Terrorblade to get a BKB, and he would definitely not want to get a BKB at this point. And it also ruins Pangolier. There is no shard, even if he gets like initiated on. Look at the damage now. They still have a minute and a half left on Aegis with the Vlads and Visage Birds. Great Pact as well finished. They just don't have enough. Like, where's the damage gonna come from?
Oh, Tiny tossing back. And check once again. After their supports decimated. As their Wukong's command, hoping to do something, at least kill the Tiny. That'd be ideal. They'll settle for a 4 for now. Wraith Pact a bit of a nuisance.
He has the combo again.
Surviving a ridiculous amount. He finally got killed. Rolling Thunder, also keeping the rest of the team at bay. Verkeil, however, wanted to fight this still. Sails from behind, catches a Monkey King. And now, second support from Wolf is dead. Enchantress did buy back for this, though. They don't seem too deterred, though. Despite the lack of Tiny, they still preserve the Aegis. It's all about not diving too far, like their counterparts last game.
They dealt the damage. They might reset and go in again. They know that Dark Ascension is on cooldown.
Yep.
Void Spirit will pick up a rune. Monkey King RD. 10 deaths on him. Oof.
Ah, nice. Nice. I like. Yeah, it's not been the best game. I mean, do you think the playstyle on lane was his fault?
I think they should have just laned differently.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It is weird as well because I feel like Duster the whole game has been playing as a 4, right? As a result of the lanes. And I don't know what, you know, Enchantress 4 versus Monkey King 4 does, like why the advantage.
If we're talking about Enchantress 4, you need to have points in impetus, like you need to have power treads to be able to have some attack speed. Yeah, be able to deal damage. I'm not sure if this game's gonna last that long. They might get caught. Sladden's in again.
Oh. Yes, he is. This time no Wraith Pact though, so he should die sooner. Overgrowth has been used, and that guarantees the kill on HFN. The backlines as Sladin still has not been killed. However, Monkey King will not be so lucky. Wraith Pact's out as well. ADR will be forced to TP. Once again with that HFN. I guess he does have the Sunder still when he comes back. There's the Omni-Slash use.
Oh!
It's the most on the Pango. Shield crashes covering him though. For the Soul Assumption, he won't be covered for long enough. Avalanche used as well. That settles the kill on ADR, who immediately buys back, and they will punish Sladin for this. Sebas is forced to dissimulate the safety. It's caught by the disarm. There's a slight stun. Healing ward to cover as well. Sebas still has the escape. Or sorry, the save on the shield. And they just forced the buyback and will be able to just go back.
And Pango's gonna struggle. He does have a basher, so that's like a way to approach the build. Okay, they smoke. Dark Ascension is online, so it's nighttime in 20 seconds. If they can get Juggernaut, that would be huge. That's pretty big, but I'm not sure if they have enough. Also, Sebas does have Invis Rune, so he might catch a smoke.
This smoke is a necessary smoke for them. If they catch the Juggernaut, they could still remain in the game for a while, however, dissimulate. Oh, that's uncovered the smoke, interestingly, but that didn't really matter for them because they didn't have vision of them. Now the Jug could be in trouble. He's been silent still. He used to be able to spin, but he won't get the chance to. Contado dies. and then get Void Spirit as well. That would be huge. And they do catch him with the Rolling Thunder, but the bomb in the wrong place. In fact,
He's
the
going
Avalanche
in.
down on the 3. They toss him back. Sebas, he's crazy. Damage is super high. Do they have Overgrowth? They do not. So unfortunately, they can't really reset this
Now
quite
it's
yet.
online.
There's the Overgrowth finally coming online. And that's going to settle the fight for them, as now Tamo will surely die. ADR will fall into the grave. The Enchantress is going to die together with King Ao. They have no chances of surviving. Wolf team got 1 kill and lost 4 as a result.
They got Juggernaut, but at what cost? Like, it's pretty much the same fight that they did near the Roshan when Kotaro turned with the spin. Like, he needed, I don't know, half a second to be able to survive in this one, get the healing ward off and the Blade Fury, and he'd be fine. But, yeah, I think we gotta give credit to Sebas going in,
No.
like, having 2 Astral
HFN?
Steps and 2 Resonant Pulses. He's chasing.
Dire's bottom tower
He just body blocked him from going into his own base. Can he actually get killed here? Okay, they cut him with the End Remnant. The Sunder available, no time to use it. And in fact, King Ao might die as a freebie here. 2 for 1 at the Wolf Team supermarket today.
Yeah, they might call it. Like, one more fight like this and they're out.
Sometimes I see a game like this, Lacoste, and it almost convinces me that Tiny 4 is good, because Slavin has been playing out of his
He
mind this whole game.
did some hell of a work in this game, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, those first 2 rotations on Pango to shut him down and also put Sebas for success. It was a much easier lane this time around. Like, they were not playing into Monkey King. They did, but not a core Monkey Ledge.
Time to push,
Yeah, it's time to close
see
it
what
out.
they can get. Wolf Team still holding on to the glimmer of hope, though. But Tempest not really giving them any chances here.
Look at the items on Tiny. We're 27 minutes in. He's almost as farmed as enemy mid Pango. Because he's holding the Philly. He's been involved in, what, 28 kills? Which is a kill per minute.
It's
That's-
wild.
That's nuts. And now has Yule Scepter plus a 4-staff Blink Dagger. These 3 items,
Yeah.
since forever my favorite trio, because you can always go in and get out of the trouble. Set things up, have another way of stopping the TP, setting things up for Remnant, for Void Spirit.
Oh, another initiation. This time the BKB by Tamo. We do have an overgrowth. That's gonna stop. That was initiation as Kotaro still has the Blade Fury. Won't be able to run away for now. He actually wants to fight back thanks to the healing ward. HFN is just stuck in the middle of this. And the damage from Sebas is too much. He can't deal with this. Despite Duster covering him, it's not gonna be enough.
I think
Both
it's
ADR and
time.
Tamo now got caught. The Avalanche too strong. Tiny too good. The GG is called. Wolf Team is down. In the first game, or the first series rather, will go to Tempest 2-0. Some would say it's an upset.
I
will
think a
die.
lot of people expected the Wolf team to do good in Division 1. It's been a while since we saw them in action. High hopes, but they got shut down completely. In the laning stage, I don't think I've seen one Sunder being used from Terrorblade this game. Like, he needed to be more tanky.
Yeah.
He bought Hurricane Pike. It's an early one. I guess he wants to get out of the Void Spirit, but I'm not sure if he's the one that should be buying it. Like, this top lane was just a disaster for them. Like, they couldn't punch back. Completely different than the previous game, where they had Monkey Lich and they could get some trade kills. Monkey is also a hero that you can't just push out of the lane easily. This time around, very difficult. I think Tavo was off to a great start, but didn't have the hero to play with. Like, your Monkey was shut down, your position 4/5, whatever we want to call it, Enchantress just doesn't do that, and Pango didn't have a game.
There was no playmaker to go with them right there. They needed maybe the support is really the biggest issue. Like, give it more traditional support. Anything with a stun or some damage, right? Give me a Hoodwink, give me a Mirana, whatever it is, and then you would have had a much easier game for Tabo. They didn't seem to bank it all on Tabo, right, in the early game. That's what the lanes at least told me.
Yeah, they wanted to secure his lane. As I said, I think they wanted Terrorblade to just, like, lose lane, go to jungle, or maybe they thought this lane's gonna go better. I don't know. Kind of rough. Kind of rough. They fell apart. Like that one fight near the Roshan pit where they could not kill Kotaro is what just set them up for a bad game. On top of the bad laning stage.
Yeah, and for sure. And we'll see what the panel has to say about that, as they're well versed in the Wolf ways, and if they can think that Wolf can make it back as the season progresses. For now, we'll also try to set up an interview with Team Tempest, so stay tuned, not just for the panel, but for that great interview with one of their players, if they answer us today. So thank you, Lacoste, once again.
Bye-bye.
And see you soon. Let's go, Abel. Thank you, Abel. So, right, you RDO, dude. I don't know what to tell you anymore. you said at the beginning, though, you said it's not a greatest Terrorblade game, right? I know you're a fan of the hero, but you didn't think it was a good Terrorblade game from the start. Can you explain a little bit more now that we saw the game, like what you think the issues were with that pick?
Usually it's a good TB game when enemies have low magic damage and you're gonna have a good lane. And in this game, he was gonna have a bad lane because he was playing against Visage, and all the enemy heroes had magic damage.
Yep.
Like the Jug pick was so good against TB. There's nothing he can do without BQB.
Yeah, we saw the impact of Blade Fury early. Like, it was surprising to watch a Jug getting kills, not with Omni, but just with Blade Fury, right? And that was what was dominating the early game. Rayur, do you feel like there was what do you feel of the lane swap actually about running Monkey King, Terrorblade, and Enchantress the Night Stalker?
Terrible idea. Terrible idea.
Okay.
I think this was one of the most reasons that they lose top. Maybe with Enchantress, Enchantress could open a distance to save the carry. On the beginning of the game, TB just get two soul assumptions and just die. Like, that's not what you expect. And he opened meta. The lane was super sad for them. I don't like this decision at all.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. Rayur, what do you think the logic was behind it, though? Like, in your opinion?
Honestly, I don't know. Me and RDO discussed that, and we did not get a point. Like, what's the reason? I don't know.
I appreciate the honesty. What do you feel like that team fight in Roche was a big turning point for them, mentally, even more so?
100%. Tiny getting 3-man combo, 3-man avalanche was, I mean, just destroy the fight. And RDO was saying to me that he just lost a couple of TB games that he just get a kill mid, open meta. Okay, guys, let's go rush, and then he lose the game, and this proceed to happen. Seems like RDO has some expertise in losing games as TB. And I think the fight on Roshan was crucial for Tempest to win. Like, Jugger getting alive out of that was super huge.
RTO, how do you think Wolf should take this loss? Because you talked about Tempest as being one of the easier potential ones, right? You just lost 2-0 to them as well. What is the mentality now for Wolf? What would you do if you were coaching them? You would tell them how to increase.
Forget about everything that happened and focus on future.
Right.
Like, I feel like they have potential. They have potential to be the top 4, top 3, but they need to forget about what happened today. It's not unhealthy, you know. I've been into this position, like we in a team we played so bad, and at the end of the series, someone just say, "All right, guys, let's forget about this series. It's never happened. See you guys tomorrow. Maybe we watch replays. Just chill a bit, and we're gonna do good in future."
Okay. Do you agree with that assessment? Are you just forget about it? That's the strategy.
Yeah, there's sometimes you just need to reset. Like, there's some series that you lose. It's bad for the team. Try to discuss the series and you lose because of this, because I just reset, go to the next series, go chill, do something that you want, and get back refreshed. You know.
Okay, well, with that, we're going to reset our own panel as we are looking and waiting for that interview. Hopefully we can get it this time. So we're going to take a small break and hopefully come back with one of the team members of Tempest to talk about game number 2 and game number 1. And, of course, prepare for the next series of the day. So stay tuned for that and see you guys very soon.